Hello creators, welcome back to another video. On today's video we are making a little candy box for this Snickers bar for my sweetheart for Valentine's Day. I'm starting out by measuring the Snickers bar to see what size box I need to make. I kind of made this up as I went along and I just happened to have pretty good luck getting it to work out. I'm starting with a piece of early espresso cardstock and I'm going to make a candy bar out of cardstock for the embellishment on top of my box. This is a very approximate measurement and it will depend on what size box that you make. I will have all of the measurements on my blog if you'd like to reference those to make your own box. You can find that link in the description box below. So again, the way that I made my box was I just measured the candy bar I wanted to use, and then I started with a piece of Whisper White cardstock. This piece measures approximately 5.5 by 8.5, and I'm scoring it at 1.5, 3, 4.5, 6, and 7.25. Then I'm going to rotate it in a little bit here and score it at 3/4 on each edge. Again, you can find all of the measurements for this project on my blog, MKre8tions.com. There's a link in the description box below. As I was going along trying to figure out what I wanted to do for the box and what shape it needed to be, I just kind of started with how big it needed to be to enclose the candy bar first. And then I needed to figure out how much room on the edges I had to fold the sides in. And I got lucky and the measurements turned out pretty well. The sides closed and the flaps met, so I was very happy that I didn't have to redo this. Once I had a rough idea of the box I wanted to make, I took my snips and I cut wedges out of each of the score lines on both edges. I also trimmed off the longest side flaps. You'll see what I mean in just a second here. And I decided to trim those all the way off because I was going to leave a top flap standing up on the box, kind of like you see on packaging of like creams that you find in the grocery store or in a supermarket. They have the boxes that have the little top flap on it, and I was trying to kind of replicate that. I thought about maybe punching a hole in the top too, but I decided to not do that. I wanted to go ahead and put some designer series paper on here and put my candy bar on the top flap kind of as the accent piece. From my paper share, I am taking a piece out of the From My Heart Specialty Designer Series paper out of the mini catalog, and this paper is gorgeous. There are so many beautiful pieces and you can see it's foil on some of those, and I wanted to really show that on my box. So I chose a couple pieces that had some really nice foil accents on them. I love these paper shares. They're a great way to get small amounts of paper for small projects just like this one. I am cutting apart some of this paper here. Again, the measurements are on my blog. The link is in the description box below, but I'm just cutting 3 pieces that measure 1 1/4 by 3 3/4 for the smaller outside edges, and then I have one piece that is 1 by 3 3/4 out of this heart paper that I'm going to put as my accent on the top flap. I'm going to glue that top flap down, and then I'm going to glue my paper to it. And then I'm going to turn it over and glue the rest of my designer series paper down. And once I decided how I was going to put my box together, I'm going to add some adhesive to the 2 flaps that you see here. Those are going to stick my flaps down. I'm going to turn it over and put adhesive on the opposite side of these 2 pieces here, and that way one side of my box will be nice and put together. The design of this box does leave a gap between the top flap and the inside of the box, and you'll see what I mean in a little bit here. I decided to do that because if the recipient doesn't want to tear into the box, they could probably pull the candy bar out from the gap in between the top flap and the top side of the box without destroying it. I am using the Label Me Bold stamp set that was inspired by Million Sales Achiever Jasmine Schultz, and I'm going to stamp the hearts as well as the From Me For You stamps with my Real Red ink. For those hearts, I'm just stamping them on a scrap piece of paper, and then I'm going to cut it out to be approximately 2.5 by 2.5, and that's what I'm going to fold in half to create a little tag that I can glue to the top of my box. I am trimming the little sentiments from the Label Me Bold stamp set with my snips, and those are also going to accompany the flap on the top of the box. I'm just using some glue dots to adhere the small rectangles to the top of my faux chocolate bar, and I'm using the largest scalloped circle from the Layering Circles dies, and I'm going to put that on the very end to make it look like there is a bite taken out of the candy bar. And finally, I'm going to add some double stitched satin ribbon in real red to the outside of my box. And for the end, I am going to glue it back onto itself to give it a finished look before gluing it down to the box. And now I'm going to tie a bow and adhere that to the front of the box on top of the ribbon with a glue dot. And there we are, creators. There is my chocolate box inspired by a Snickers bar for my husband for his Valentine's Day treat. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to give the video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to comment down below and let me know what you thought of this project today. You can find me on the web at MKre8tions.com and on social media with @MKre8tions. Thanks so much, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye!